stream at the beginning of the race. And everything's gone wrong now. There was a virtual safety car. One of the Saubers has gone. Falcon still leads, but it has not been good by any means. The first race was a shambles. The second race we didn't get the start, unfortunately. But it's clean enough by the looks of it, and as we see Falcon looking up again, followed by Trizzy, A5A, and King Chris, I believe, is still in fourth. It is indeed in the Sauber. His teammate, however, saw the wall earlier on in the lap, and unfortunately we may see a penalty coming for the other Renault driver of Jack Tyler. This could be a good battle though. Some Johnston and Miles, and I believe that's A45 in the background in the Force India. And there's a move being made. No, there isn't. He's just having a look for now. So yet to see if there's any more action. Plenty of penalties. I'm sure this track is very hard to get just right. And there's a Toro Rosso very wide through turn 5. As they come into the second sector of the track now. Quite a short sector, this one. One of the trickiest to get right though. As we see cars jostling for position down this back section of the track now. There's a Ferrari on the grass in front of them. I believe that's Smertens. It is indeed Smertens. And there's a Toro Rosso that's hit the back of him, and I wonder if he's lost his wing through that, and I believe that was St Johnston. Meanwhile at the front, King Chris is going to have a look up the inside of the Williams. No, he's not. He's going to wait for another lap yet. Perhaps get the run down into turn 1 on the Finn. The Finn goes defensive, cuts back to the outside, and King Chris doesn't look very happy with it at the moment. Good Aids just behind, just biding his time at the moment. Meanwhile at the front, Good Aids, Trizzy has lost Falcon. Falcon's gone already. And AL45, it wasn't AL45 that was following the two Force Indias. It was in fact, who was it actually? Jamie Dodger, who's had an incident. Very slowly there. Smertens up to P8 on the softs. He's doing quite well at the moment as he almost puts it in the wall. Very close there to DNFing. That would have been unfortunate for him. And AL45 has also called it a day. Cars are doing well on those super softs. I believe he started on these tyres. No one stopped yet apart from the back runners as far as I know. And King Chris, is he going to get the move done down to the chicane? Oh, and there's touch, and he's pushed him over the curb. The Williams didn't give him much space in the previous lap, and he's been done by Good Aids as well, the Williams of A5A there. Well, I think that's a bit of previous history as of a lap ago between King Chris and A5A. He gave him no space the previous lap, and King Chris this lap goes, well, you're not getting any space from me if I'm not getting any space from you. Unfortunately. So King Chris up into a podium position now, as we can see there. Trizzy not that far ahead. As he's actually, looks like he might be catching Falcon here. Falcon perhaps making a few mistakes. I don't think he's going to be in DRS range here. So it's just over a second in fact, so maybe next lap. We won't be seeing pit stops just yet. Another 5 laps, maybe sooner, depending on what their strategies are. And it looks like A5A might have wing damage from that because he's dropped off Good Aids quite a lot. Although Good Aids is a quick driver, as he did start on the Super Softs, I believe. And there you go, proof of that on the Super Softs in P4, doing a great job in the Red Bull. Tazo actually catching his teammate A5A now on those Super Softs. We'll go down with Miles now. He's in a point scoring position, followed by Taffy, who's right up there in the promotion to F2. We'll see how his race goes. Miles, who didn't have the best race in China last time out, sorry, Australia last time out, or China in fact for that matter. He's not had good results recently. Hopefully today he can get a slightly better result than he's had previously. Jakey Boy nowhere in sight for Tezza, but Smertens lurks in the mirrors of Jakey Boy, who I believe is on the soft tyre. He is indeed. So he's done well. He's up to P7 on the softs, keeping it clean through the chicane. Nicely there. As we can see, Trizzy is within DRS range of Falcon. He's not invincible. Trizzy not tucking into the slipstream though, staying well out of it for now. The gap just over half a second. Very tightly through the last chicane. Maybe lose a bit of time as they go over to the left hand side of the track to cut in into turn 1 now. Tricky section of the track to get right, and if you do, it's so rewarding. Sector 1. We'll watch on board through the first sector. Trizzy very fidgety on the wheel as Falcon gets a big slap there, going through turn 4, 5 and now into 6. And he's clipping the grass left, right and centre as we see the gap is ever closer. And this could be a good battle to watch between these two. As he's gone sideways, Falcon, and Trizzy might get the run before the DRS stretch. Is he going to have a look up the inside? Nope, he's going to hold his position for now as Falcon makes a huge lock up into the hairpin. All 4 tyres are lit with smoke. And now Trizzy's going to get the run. He's so close. He's got the DRS open. Is he going to get close enough down this biggest straight on the track? He's not going to be close enough this time, but maybe. And Falcon actually bails out. He's in the pit, so he feels those ultrasofts are not holding up. So Trizzy will take the lead of the race. And as we look here, Tezza has actually caught his teammate on the ultrasofts. He'll be feeling good about himself there. Falcon's going to come out fairly low down, unfortunately for him. And we see Good Aids right on the back of King Chris now. His pace and tyre choice proving to be paying off at the moment. We'll see how that develops later on in the race. Jack Tyler, who's pitted for softs very early on. I think it was lap 3 he pitted. And he's behind Bendel in the McLaren at the moment. And Falcon has come out. So Falcon's rejoined in P6 as he almost clips the wall coming through turn 4. Very close there indeed. You see a lot of lockups, and he's got the Red Bull of Jakey Boy lurking, and his mirrors now also on the soft tyres, however 8 laps older. Smertens has dropped off a bit now. Miles still in the points with Taffy just behind him, and Bendel doing a good job in 11th as well. Aaron Taylor, I'm not sure if he's made a pit. Actually no, he has made a pit stop because he started inside the top 10 on the rerun of qualifying. Joe George, who has left the session. Jamie Dodger on his debut in F3 is running in P16, but it's this man Trizzy at the moment that's in the controlling position in that Mercedes. He has about a 3-second lead, or it's actually come down to under 2.5 seconds now. King Chris is pushing hard, and behind him is of course the Red Bull of Good Aids, who won last time out in a Renault at Australia. Change of car this week, same engine though, so hopefully that will prove good for him. So we'll watch these two for the last sector. So King Chris has already made a move out of the hairpin and down into the chicane. You see Good Age swarming over the back, and Jack Tyler's gone. Good Aids, as we can see, there's so much tighter line that he's able to take there, and no doubt King Chris is going to have lost quite a bit of time there. We'll go on board with Good Aids, and there's a virtual safety. There's the safety car, so the safety car is out. I did wonder why he dropped off. So pit stops now for the ultra soft and super soft runners could be very handy for them indeed. So Good Aids will take the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix, coming on to lap 10 now. Safety car will pick him up in a moment's time. King Chris has gone into the pits, and he's on the soft tyres, so I'm not sure one stop is quite the best option at the moment, but We'll find out, of course. They will have 3 laps of low wear. And Falcon, that's worked out very nicely for him. He's up into P2. He's all over the place, but Trizzy's going to get the jump. And he'll be stuck behind Trizzy now. So Trizzy, holding out this couple of laps longer, has gained on Falcon. P4 is King Chris as he's on the grass, pushing to get close to the safety car. Tezza up into P5. He's actually stopped on those super softs. So difference in strategies between the two super soft starters. A5A in the other Williams also on the soft. So they've actually coordinated those stops quite well there, the two Williams drivers. They both stopped at the same time. Taffy up to P7, starting on the softs. He's done it again. He's up into P7 already. Jakey Boy has stopped and gone on the super softs. Now that's an interesting one because he started on the soft tyre, which is the mandatory tyre, so they have to run that at some point in the race. And they can go for about 20 to 25 laps depending on driving style, but he's bailed out on lap 10 and he's put on the super softs and they definitely won't last him. So interesting there to see what strategy he's going to pull out the bag. Smertens has done the same. Bendel, however, has stuck with the soft tyres, unless he's not stopped and put on another fresh set, actually. Taffy's not stopped, and neither is Bendel, so no. So the only person not to stop that started on Ultras or Supers inside the top 10 is Good Aids. As we look down the order now, Aaron in P11, Miles P12, St Johnson P13, Show George, who's currently not here, in P14. Jamie Dodger is in P15, Jack Tyler, who's DNF'd, along with AL45, Ollie, and Cookie Monster, who nearly got P2 last week. And Falcon set the fastest lap under safety car? That cannot be right. Let's just have a quick look at that, actually. Because if he did... No, he didn't. It was just a glitch in the game there, just making sure. So this safety car restart will hopefully go a bit better than the last one. Good Aids will lead the safety car this time. Trizzy currently P2 on those fresh softs. Be interesting to see how well they manage the tyres under safety car, because that could determine whether they can one stop this or not, because the one stop from lap 10 on the softs will be very harsh on the tyres depending on their setups and driving styles, etc. But Falcon's going to struggle, I reckon, with these lockups. He must be running anti-lock brakes off, which means that he'll lock up if he brakes too hard. He's actually backing everyone else up here, so he's got to get a move on. Because he might get a penalty if he drops too far back. He's okay at the moment, safety car's not coming in, so he's okay for now. But everyone behind he's got to be wary of, because of course these guys just want to catch up to everyone else. And one of the Salvers, that's King Chris actually, who's in ghost mode. Hopefully he's still with us. Miles in P11, he's actually made a pit stop, so he's in good stead at the moment, although everyone ahead apart from Bendel and Taffy has also made a pit stop. As we see Jamie Dodger up to P13. What's going on here? I think he got stuck behind the AI. As we see Taffy ghosting, and what's happening up the front here? We've got Falcon going very slowly. And this is interesting because obviously... And he's almost taken out Trizzy there. So this is going to upset a few drivers, no doubt, because they will be having issues. And as the safety car actually comes in, he's pulled a massive gap and he's caught up to Trizzy. He's going to have a look down to turn one. Big lock up and he's lost the back end. And he's recovered it somehow. Unbelievable. And these three will fight it out till the end now, I hope. It will make for a good spectacle of racing, that's for sure. Good Aids is on worn super softs and these two behind him on fresh softs. So, who will come out the victor amongst these three? I'm going to put my money on Good Aids, because I don't think that Falcon and Trizzy will have tyre wear to carry them to the end of the race, unless there's another safety car. As we actually see a move being made here by Falcon on Trizzy, and he's squeezing past, and he's been given room. Is he? Just about. There's no DRS at the moment, so he's going to have to rely on pure car speed. He's moving all over the back of the Mercedes. He's not going to get the move done just yet, and he's put him in a wall. And then they both are going into the pits, and that was rather silly from both those drivers, not giving each other enough space. I'm pretty sure that'll be classified as a racing incident by the stewards, which we'll look at that one later. Taffy, meanwhile, will be rubbing his hands together with that one. He's now in a point scoring position yet again, as Miles is up into P8, so he's got 4 points at the moment. If it stays how it is, Aaron Taylor's had a good restart as well. He's up into P7. Meanwhile, Jamie Dodger, has he got a puncture there? Or he's just going around very, very slowly. As we see St Johnston, he's actually ghosted here. Actually, what is going on with Jamie Dodger? Because he's going very slowly and he's not pitted, so I wonder what's going on there. Anyway, Good Aids leads the Grand Prix from the Williams of Tezza, who started way down in, I believe it was P7. And let's just see King Chris in the background. He's now catching A58. And the DRS will now be active as of this lap, so they won't get it along the stretch this time round. Oh, and that's Smertin nearly in the wall. Oh my goodness, so close to retiring from the session. That would have been a head and hands moment for sure for the Ferrari driver. He's had a brilliant race so far, up in P5. He's raced superbly, and as we can see, that is Aaron Taylor behind him, now in P6. Oh, P7, the game doesn't want Taylor to be P6 yet, and I'm not sure what's happening here, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is Smertens, 6 is Aaron Taylor indeed, so he is 6th, and 7th is Miles, 8th is Taffy, 9th is his teammate Bendel on the slower tyre, I believe. Yep, he's on the soft still, so Taffy has stopped. Meanwhile, as you can see that on the super softs, he started on the soft tyre. And Trizzy down in P11, and they're still fighting each other. Falcon and Trizzy, this could be a battle to the end of the race now. And they've put on the ultra soft tyres. But Trizzy, being the smart man he is, has put on the soft tyres, so Falcon's put himself in a really poor situation here, where he's just going to have to sit behind Trizzy and then hopefully get past and then pit again and be even further behind. He's not going to be close enough here to make a move. It's all over the place. He comes through the curbs. Trizzy might as well let him have the position, let him pull him along. He's on the faster tyre, and oh my goodness, they touch. Coming into turn 1, these two going at it. And I hope neither of them have damage, because they were both very, very aggressive through there. As we see Falcon squirming as he comes into turn 3. I really hope none of them have damage, because they're both good races. As we see Jakey Boy has pitted there. But poor from these two so far. I was expecting a lot better. As we see Falcon all over the place. And I believe he has lost the car. Oh, he's not put it in the wall anyway. He's managed to keep it somehow. But astonishing, these two. And Tez has got the run on good aids. Is he going to get the move done? Down into turn 1. He's got the DRS on the inside. And Tezza is... Oh, he's not into P1. Unbelievable stuff from good aids. Great work there around the outside. Good aids retains the lead of the Grand Prix on those super softs he started on. He's doing extremely well, and he might as well pit, to be honest, now. Put on the soft tyres, they would go to the end indefinitely. As we see now, the train beginning to form. A5A and King Chris closing up now. Smertens still P5, doing an exceptional job in that Ferrari. As we see, Falcons is finally out. And Trizzy has no front wing, so I really hope those two haven't been silly again, because what they've done before was not by any means good racing. As we see, Tesla getting the run again on good aids. He's going to go very far to the left very early here. We'll go on board with Tesla. He's not close enough, is he? He's not tucking in the slipstream either, which is interesting to see, as good aids bails out and will now let Tesla lead the Grand Prix, but he's in a fantastic position here, is good aids. How close is A5A? As you can see, that is the gap between the two teammates. They followed each other around for some 12 laps now, I reckon. As you can see, Aaron Taylor sneak up into P5. A very good point scoring position from his point of view. And Taffy is up into... Is that P6? No, P7. Good aid is squeezed out in front of the McLaren. And Taffy will be happy with P7 regardless, considering how many drivers are here today. Very cautious through there. And Trizzy getting a front wing repair. Unfortunately for him, it's really not gone well. And he won't be happy with himself or potentially Falcon. We're not sure what happened there. Meanwhile, up the front, King Chris, can he get a move done on A5A here, who's got the DRS on his teammate, which is just pulling him away from King Chris at the moment. Very nice. Here, the Williams working together nicely. They pitted the same lap and they've followed each other around pretty much since the safety car, maybe even before that. As you can see, A5A getting so close under braking to his teammate. Good racing from these three at the moment. As we see, Bendel in P8 right now, being very cautious not to get any penalties. Taffy P7 still. Aaron Taylor, can he get closer to Smertens? That's what the real question is going to be here, because these two both started on the... Actually, no, sorry, Aaron Taylor started on the Ultras and Smertens started on the Softs. So where they are currently is brilliant. Smertens started right down in P12, I believe, and Taylor started P9 or 10. But these two will be fighting to the end, possibly. Actually, no, Smertens on those super softs will have to stop again. So unfortunately for him, he's going to lose out to the Haas. And as we see, A5A here, is he going to get a move done on Tezza? King Chris way too far behind. Tezza's going to hold his line, and he does so to good effect. No room there for A5A to get past. However, run down into turn 1 may be different. He's having a look, but he's not going to go for it yet. He's going to wait for a mistake from his teammate perhaps, or these two communicating well, just getting away from King Chris. Although it does look A5A is the faster driver at the moment. So if any team orders are going on, then it would be sensible now to let the man that we're on board with right now through to pull away from the Sauber of King Chris, who did I'm not sure if he actually raced last week. I can't remember him racing, but Trizzy meanwhile, P12 is not been good for him, and Miles has dropped down to P11. Jacob Boy's up into P10 now, falling very high in the revs. Aaron Taylor has pitted, so unless he got wing damage, he's made a mistake there in pitting, because he was in a good position. He's P5 right behind Smertens, and here is Smertens still on the soft, super soft, sorry, So what if he'll respond to Aaron Taylor's pit stop? How far behind is Goodays? That is the question. As you can see the Ferrari just in the distance. Goodays will go to the end now on the soft tyres. Taffy still P6. Bendel P7. Good points for the McLaren at the moment. Tezat still in the lead from his teammate. As you can see, he's pulled a bit of a gap this time actually. A5A clips the wall and he's all over the place coming out of turn 4. So close to retiring. I'm pretty sure there'll be more of that to come throughout the race. As he tries to put away from his teammate. Has King Chris got a run? I think he has here, King Chris. Is he going to have a look down to the hairpin? No, he's too far back this time, but he's going to try and get the run out of the hairpin now onto the start finish. Sorry, the back straight. Is he going to be close enough? DRS will pop open now. A5A has the DRS from his teammate, so it's going to be a double toe for King Chris, but he's not got the wings by the looks of it. He's not gaining at all as they close up under braking. And his exit out of the last chicane is quite poor actually, King Chris. He's losing time on A5A through there. But these three all still within a second. So it'd be good to see these three really bunch up and fight for the win towards the end of the race. Smertens has not responded in the meantime. He's still P4. And Goodaids P5. Oh, skip past him there. There he is. Look how close he is now after a lap. Smertens driving the race of his life at the moment though. Miles in P11. Outside the points at the moment, but one more DNF could see him into the points. Jakey Boy's struggled since the safety car, to be honest. It's not gone well, and there's a big lock-up into turn 1. Taffy in P6 just finding his own time through here. He's running his own race. As we see Goodays close up on Smertens now, this should be fairly straightforward. As we see a lovely view of the brake duct of the Red Bull. And that's A5A. I wonder what's happened to him. Has he got a puncture maybe, or has he just had an incident? But it's going to be Smertens and Goodays that take advantage of the situation. And they both get past the Williams. As the Williams goes into the pits, now I wonder, does he have damage? He does indeed. There is no front wing on the front of that Williams. And I wonder if he's hit the back of his teammate Tezza, because that would be pretty badly. And King Chris is in as well, and he's having a wind change, so unless these three have collided and Tezza got away with it, which it looks like is the situation at the moment, he will be happy, but I'm pretty sure others won't be. So Goodays has been gifted second place here, although Smertens is all over the back of him. He's not letting him get away. Good for him. Smertens is on for a podium at the minute if he can go to the end, which I don't think he will. But look at this, Taffy's up into P4 now. Whether he can go to the end of these tyres or not, we'll find out. And Aaron Taylor back up to P5 already. If we look where that put A5A, it's all the way down to P7. And he's put the Ultra Softs on, so he might get to the end, but it's going to be very tight. King Chris has put the Super Softs on, a much more sensible choice from the Sauber driver. As we see, Bendel has made a pit stop and is now P10, right in front of Miles, who will be looking to gain a position and go into a point scoring position there. Jakey Boy moves up to P8 now. Still on the softs and a big lock up again. And just Goodays here has pulled a gap on the Ferrari Smertens. But it's this man Tezza that leads the Grand Prix at the moment with 11 laps to go. Can he go to the end on these softs? He started on the Super Softs, he pitted the softs under safety car, which seems a long time ago now. But he's running his own race. I'm not sure what happened between Chris and A5A behind him. But that's for them to tell, as we didn't see that on stream, unfortunately. But it's been a good race from Tezza so far. Started quite a way down the Ordone P7, I believe. And he almost clipped the wall there on the exit. As we see King Chris catching Jakey Boy now. sideways coming out of turn 4 into 5. But this could be quite good to watch because King Chris has the pace, he's got the faster tyre. And Jakey Boy at the moment does not look comfortable in that Red Bull. Obviously coming down into the last sector now. Fastest sector of the track, and King Chris gets very close under braking into the hairpin. And we'll ride on board down the DRS stretch. Will Jakey Boy go defensive? He's gone very defensive very early, but it's not going to have... And A5A is gone! So I wonder what's happened there. Yellow flags in the last sector, and he's binned it after the Wall of Champions as Bendel does not want to hit that car, and that puts Bendel and Miles up in position into the points. Joe George, who unfortunately bailed out earlier on, is not in the points, but Trizzy will be happy. He's now got an extra position up. St Johnson, who is also not here. Unfortunate for them, they won't be getting any points if they're not here to finish the race. Meanwhile, Tez up, 10 laps to go. He's still leading the Grand Prix. And he's going to bail out and put on a fresh set of rubber. We'll stay on board to see what he puts on. I would imagine he put the Ultra Softs on with only 9 laps to go when he crosses the line. But he's putting the Super Softs on, sensible option. Doesn't want to risk anything, he just wants to get a faster tyre on. But it's this man, Good Age, who's going to take the lead of the Grand Prix. And it's going to be very close as they come out the pits, is it? And it's not even going to be a contest. Tezza didn't have the gap required. And Smertens is there now. He's not going to be close enough though. You've got to go around this long turn 1 and 2 section. But he's on for a podium at the moment. And Taffy is as well. Taffy's P4. So if Smertens were to pin in front of him, he's in a great position. But Aaron Taylor up in P5 on a fresh set of Super Softs. He's caught Taffy up already. And it looks like that Taffy might lose the position because he's on old Super Softs and he might have to pit again. It wouldn't surprise me if he put the Ultra Softs on, but it just wouldn't be able to get him back up to Aaron Taylor at this stage of the race. So Aaron Taylor is on for a podium potentially if Taffy and Smertens stop. And we're going to stay with these two for now because it looks like Aaron Taylor might get past pretty quickly here. He almost hit the back. I think he did hit the back of the McLaren potentially as they come into the hairpin at turn 10. Very close to the apex very early. He's tipped the back of the McLaren again here with Aaron Taylor. I wonder if he's got any wing damage. As we can see, DRS just not giving him enough straight line speed. Be interesting to know what his wings are. And Taffy has bailed out. He braked very early there to go into the pits. But Aaron Taylor is up into P4. And Smertens is pitted as well, so he will now go up into P5. And Good Aids, as we know, in the lead of the Grand Prix. But it's going to be two different podium sitters to last week as Jakey Boy says goodnight. He is out of a point scoring position, which puts Trizzy up into P10, who was down fighting for no man's land earlier on. And look at that, he's put it in the Wall of Champions, unfortunately for him. And it'll be interesting to see if Tezza can catch Good Aids in time, because he's got 4 seconds to gain in 8 and a bit laps. Sorry, 7 and a bit laps now. And Good Aids has really run this race well again, as he did last week. Smertens, however, in P4 is possibly going to be caught by King Chris, who's got fresh Super Softs on. Bendel is P6 at the moment. Behind him is his teammate Taffy in P7 on the fresh purple Ultra Softs. So it'll be interesting to see if Taffy will be let through or if Bendel will pit. We'll find out within the few corners that remain of this lap, I'm sure. I wouldn't imagine Bendel will wait any later if he is going to stop. So Taffy not in DRS range yet of his teammate. Let's see, will Bendel go into the pits? He's not, so he's going to stay out on these Super Softs presumably. And it'll be good points for McLaren. Show George won't get any points, so that puts Trizzy up to P8. Actually, he's actually going to catch Show George's ghost car. Meanwhile, Miles in P10 will get 2 points safety cars. Jojo's. Oh, and he's almost lost the back end. Keeps it together for now. And Good Aids, as we see once again, such control in the way he races. As we can see there, behind him is Tezza. Can he catch him? As the gap come down, it has by 9/10, so he's definitely catching the Red Bull. A pit stop now wouldn't do him any good for Good Aids. As Tezza cuts that corner very short, actually would have lost a lot of time on the exit. And Aaron Taylor in P3 has just got to run his race now. He's got a 4-second lead to Smertens. Mind you, Smertens is on fresh ultra soft, so that could be interesting to watch towards the end of the race. King Chris is behind them in P5. He's had all sorts of problems, King Chris. He had a wing change not so long ago. Taffy in P6 on the ultras as well. He's actually got past Bendel, so we've missed that. Whether we let him through or not, we won't find out until later on. But Bendel has raced well throughout his time so far. And Trizzy goes up into P8 there, although he'll get that position already. So he might actually catch these two. He's got 6 seconds to gain in 6 laps. Bendel on very worn super softs. Be interesting to see if that gap will come down. As we see, the gap from Good Aids to Tezza has closed by another 10th, so not as much as the last lap. Maybe Good Aids have made a mistake, but the gap is definitely coming down as Tezza actually gets the DRS off of a back marker. And he will be pushing as hard as he can now to try and catch that Red Bull. We could have a real race on our hands. You see, it takes another 2.5 tenths out of the Red Bull in that last sector alone. So he's definitely catching. Whether it's going to be enough or not, we'll find out in a couple of laps, because he's got 2.5 seconds to catch in 5 laps. He's got to catch by about half a second a lap and pass the Red Bull. So it could be tricky. King Chris, meanwhile, catching Smertens. Even more so than before. Smertens struggling maybe on those ultra softs. They don't last very long, the purple wool ultra soft tyres. Aaron Taylor is still P3. He will hang on to that podium with everything he's got. Be a very good finish for him, considering this is only his second race in the league. But behind him is Smertens and this man King Chris, who has got pace. And Smertens, I really hope he can hold on to this, because he's driven so well today. As you can see there, he's actually not that far behind the Haas of Aaron Taylor either, is King Chris. So if he's got the pace, he could pass both of them, but I don't think he's going to get both of them in time. He'll definitely get Smertens. As you can see here, he's so close under braking. And the Haas not far in front. I wonder if he's having to run a lower fuel mix perhaps. Fuel usage around here can be quite a lot depending on driving style. Flipping the inside curve, there is Aaron Taylor as we watch Smertens and King Chris come across the line. I believe Chris has DRS. No, he doesn't, not yet, so he's still not close enough, unless he's just not opened it. He may have a DRS issue, because he's definitely within a second. So I wonder if he's got a DRS issue actually. Taffy meanwhile is still P6, and Trizzy, as we can see, is lurking in the background now. Currently top of the promotion places, 2F2. It's not had a good race today by any means, but he's pushing. And this man Good Aids has pulled a bit more of a gap, has he? No, he hasn't. He's still closing his Tezza 2 tenths in the last 2 sectors. Looks like Good Aids might hold on to it, as he's only got 4 laps to go now. They come across the line, 32, 33, 34 and 35 to go. Closes by another half a tenth or maybe more, but it's not going to be enough. Tezza on those super softs. Has he maybe thrown this one away? Maybe he could have stayed out on those softs, as Good Aids had done. But Good Aids pitted so much later that it probably would have backfired on Tezza maybe. As we see the delta, he's actually lost 1.5 tenths through there. So Tezza beginning to fall back now, unfortunately for him. Aaron Taylor still P3, and King Chris has made a move past Smertens. So we've missed that. in watching Tezza and Good Aids close up. And Smertens will be gutted that he's unable to hold on to P4, but still may have a crack at Aaron Taylor if he gets pulled along by King Chris, which it looks like might be happening, as King Chris is very close now to Aaron Taylor. About 2 seconds to gap. And Miles has been disqualified, so he was so close to the points. And that's going to give... I don't think I'll actually benefit anyone because he was in the last point scoring position. Unfortunately for him, he won't get any points this weekend. He'll be gutted with that. Is Trizzy actually catching the McLaren? He is. And he's about 3 seconds behind. Good Aids has a healthy lead now over Tezza. Still 2.3 seconds. 2 and a bit. Will be very comfortable for Good Aids, I'm sure. Aaron Taylor, meanwhile, holds on to P3. Is he going to hold it through into turn 1? King Chris stays behind for now. And this is going to be a very exciting last couple of laps to enjoy. King Chris is going to have a look down into turn 3. Definitely don't want to have a go there. As he's on the grass coming out of turn 4 into turn 5. He's on the inside and he's not going for it yet. As the yellow flags are out for the disqualification of Miles, who is somewhere there. As you can see the Sauber all over the back of the Haas at the moment. Aaron Taylor holding on for dear life as the Sauber comes past into the chicane. And he's pushed the Haas off and he's spun him. And is he going to lose a wheel? No, he's not. He's kept hold of it. But Smertens will take P4 and Aaron Taylor will be gutted there. He wasn't left much space. If I were Aaron Taylor though, I would stay out because Taffy will get him otherwise. He has got a 10-second gap. I'm pretty sure he won't lose that amount of time if he stays out. Mind you, 5 seconds a lap, you never know. Let's see, will Aaron Taylor pit? It's so unfortunate, he was in a podium position. And he is going to stay out, so good for him. Although he's probably going to pick up a couple of penalties from corner cuts now. Taffy will not know this, however. And neither will Bendel. But if they both kept it clean, they could gain a couple of positions actually, because they're not that far off of the men in front. And King Chris is now in a podium position yet again. So he was P3 behind the two Williams of Tezza and A5A. He collided with A5A, they both pitted for wings. He's worked his way back up through the pack and he's back in P3. As we can see, Tezza's unable to catch. Although he has closed the gap, I don't believe it's 1.4 seconds though. It does look a bit too far to be 1.4. We'll find out as they come across the line onto their final lap. And the gap is 1.8, so it probably was 1.4 in fact. But Good Aids has had this race under control from the very start. He knew what he was doing. He raced his own race. He led after the safety car period and pushed those super softs to lap 17, where he's controlled the race since. He's picked off positions and put his head down. He really knuckled on with his race as we have more yellow flags in sector 2. Meanwhile, Trizzy in P8 is caught Bendel, so it's going to be a last lap showdown between the Mercedes and the McLaren. He's surely not going to go for it here. He's not going to risk it. And Taffy just up ahead. He's probably not going to catch him as Trizzy aggressively goes over the chicane onto the last lap. Is he going to get him down into turn 1? Bendel goes defensive. Trizzy round the outside. Is he going to give him space? And he has. And he's going to shut the door for the cutback. And he's made P7 his. Good racing there from those two. Trizzy up into P7 will be happy with that. Although penalties may play a part in the finishing standings. But it's this man Good Aids who's going to come across the line. Oh, and he's almost put it in the wall of champions there on the last lap. But he's going to come across the line in P1. Good Aids is this week's winner in Canada. Good race from him. Tezza comes home in P2. A good race from him as well. And that's 2 wins out of 2 for Good Aids. So he is possibly on his way to F2. King Chris meanwhile in P3. Aaron Taylor is holding on to P5. He's not had a wing change. Taffy's not close enough. And it's going to be King Chris to claim the final podium position here in Canada. A good race from him. It's gone from good to bad, back to good again, and he has got himself a podium in the end. Good for him. As we see Aaron Taylor come across the line in P5. And it's going to be that man, number 1, Taffy, who's going to come across the line in P6. Aaron Taylor had no front wing for the last 2 laps. Poor him. And as you can see, the only person without penalties in the end was Goodades. A very good race all round. A couple of shunts here and there, which I'm sure will be looked into by the stewards in the end. But a good race overall. Smertens actually gets a podium because King Chris got 9 seconds of penalties. Brilliant for him. And I'm sure he'll be delighted with a podium at Canada, considering how tricky the track is. But he's kept it clean, and he's got himself a bundle of points there. As you can see, 15 points, and he'll be very happy with himself. Miles getting disqualified, so unfortunate for him. Unfortunately, he's not going to be promoted to F2. I don't think it's mathematically possible, even if he were to win the last 2 races. But all round, a very good race, and I hope you can join us next week for the final race of the championship, which will be in Mexico. See you next week.